Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about 5 makeup brands that I am not buying from right now for one reason or the other. I'm kind of taking a break from them and I just want to talk about how I came to that decision. So let's get into it. So you might know that I am trying to buy less makeup, that I'm kind of on a low buy. About a year ago I was spending so much money on makeup, and even like later in that year I was spending so much money on makeup last year. So I decided I want to buy less. I want to buy more things that really excite me and that I just find really fun to film with, really fun to wear. And I also just want to cut back a little bit. So that's why I had to make some decisions and I had to change my ways a little bit. And some of these brands have to do with that decision, some don't. Let's get into the first brand, but I kind of wanted to give that context. By the way, I'm a little bit sick. I have a little bit of a cold. I feel like you can hear it a little bit less in my voice now than in the video that I filmed before this. It's kind of like I'm getting back into talking or something. I don't know, or maybe I'm getting a little bit better, but I sound a little bit different, so no, that is the reason. Okay. The first brand I have on my lid, I wanted to say the first brand I have on my lids. I am talking about eyelids way too much apparently. Okay, the first brand I have on my list is Colourpop, and this is such a popular brand and I have tried a lot of Colourpop over the years and I've been a big fan of Colourpop over the years, and honestly it's not like they're doing anything wrong. Like, they are a fun brand, they have great quality products, I do like them a lot, but because they launch so many things, none of their launches really feel super special. And the thing I kind of decided for myself is that I want the things that I buy to feel super special, to feel like they're really adding some spark to my life, like they're really adding something to my collection. When I get them in the mail, I want to feel like this is such a beautiful piece of art almost. Like, art is a little bit taking it far, but I want to look at it and be like, so much thought went into this product and this product and me, we are such a good match. And with Colourpop, they release so much and it's all kind of like in the same format, very similar ideas, repeated, that none of the things they really come out with feel that special to the point that I think, okay, this is the thing that I am gonna buy. I used to feel like that more, but over the past year or so, I've kind of strayed away a little bit from Colourpop. There have been some launches that I was kind of excited about, I was kind of thinking about. For example, the Muppets palette I thought looked really cute. And they recently did kind of like this Valentine's palette. I will put it on the screen with reds and pinks, and I thought that looked really cute. But honestly, if I would buy every Colourpop palette that I think looks pretty cute, I would end up with so many Colourpop palettes, like 50 Colourpop palettes a year. Well, that's a slight exaggeration, but let's say I would probably buy 10 to 20 Colourpop palettes a year, which is way too much. Like, everything is kind of cute, but because they release so much, nothing like really jumps out at me. And even the things that jump out at me, I'm like, if I buy this, then I might as well buy this and this and this and this and this. So with this brand, it is easier to just stay away a little bit and just be like, okay, this is not gonna be the year that I'm buying from Colourpop. Also, it's not a brand that's really interesting for my channel because I live in the Netherlands. It takes some time for Colourpop to get to me, and because they have so many new releases, release after release after release, by the time I would get a palette, it wouldn't really be relevant anymore. Even though it's such a popular brand, I don't think it really benefits me having this as a part of my channel, so I kind of stopped buying from them. The only thing that I bought from them for quite a long time is the mascara, the Egg Natural mascara in the brown shade, because it's hard to get by a brown mascara that is also pretty affordable, so I bought that one at Black Friday. But next to that, I am planning to not buy any Colourpop because I also have a lot. Like, if they come out with blushes, Super Shock blushes, Super Shock highlighters, I'm like, I have so many shades of that, I don't think I need more. And I also don't want to order from them for just like 1 or 2 products and then it's already going to be like a big haul of Colourpop, which I don't want anymore. I have to pay the shipping, I have to pay the taxes, and then one product can get really expensive. So it makes more sense to buy more in bulk, but that is not something that I want. So that's how I ended up here. I'm not saying this can't change. Very easily with this brand, it could be that next month they come out with something where I'm like, okay, this is my perfect palette. This is the movie that I always used to watch as a kid and it's my perfect color story. I don't know. It could still be, but right now I don't really see myself buying from them. Like something extraordinary, amazing, groundbreaking would have to come by for me to buy from them. Then Juvia's Place. I actually really like this brand. Just as with Colourpop, I really like the brand. I've tried a bunch of things from them that I've really enjoyed. Some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes in my collection are by Juvia's Place. So nothing wrong actually with the brand, but right now I don't feel like any of their releases are special enough for me to get them from the US, pay the taxes, pay the shipping. It is just not enough, and I think the reason for that is because I feel like they're a little bit behind on other indie brands. Other indie brands, like a lot of indie brands that are more easily accessible to me, that are cheaper for me to get, they really have dove into beautiful, sparkly, multi-chrome, duochrome, interesting eyeshadows and just interesting formulas. And I feel like Juvia's Place isn't really doing that. Like sometimes you will be lucky and there will be a sparkly shade in the palette, and they have had some palettes where they did like a multi-chrome, but I don't feel like they are really incorporating new formulas and new things in their palettes, and then it's just the color stories. But that is not enough for me to go out of my way to try and get that. I don't mind putting in some time and effort to get the perfect eyeshadow palette, but with Juvia's Place, with their releases of the last year or so, I have never felt that it was my perfect eyeshadow palette and that I had to have it, even though like maybe the color story was really nice. I knew it was gonna be pretty basic compared to other indie brands that I could easily get. And I feel like when it's that basic, I'd rather get it from somewhere that I don't have to go through all the trouble that I have to go through to get Juvia's Place. So I feel like they're kind of like in this awkward in-between for me. They either would have to be closer to me, would have to be more easily accessible, or they would have to start incorporating more interesting formulas, really start doing something new and really like reinvent themselves. So that is why I'm kind of not buying from them right now, even though I quite like them as a brand. I feel like it's just not comparing to brands that I really enjoy, like Owner's Eye, for example. Then I have two brands that I'm kind of gonna group together, and like with all of the brands in this video, I have bought from them before, I've tried their products before. This is not about brands that I'm generally not buying from, because then this could be like an endless list. It's really about brands that I've featured on my channel before, and now I don't really do that anymore. That's kind of the point here. So Unearthly Cosmetics and Menagerie Cosmetics. So both of these brands I actually really enjoy. I have bought some things from them that I've really liked, and I've done videos with them, and I have just really gotten into them in a way. And I think they're really interesting brands. I would love to buy more from them, but they are so hard to get. They are so hard to get. With Menagerie, what I remember from the days that I was trying to order from them, they had pretty small restocks, and it would be like so hard to get the shades that I want. I don't know if that's still the case. I believe they have upped the production a little bit, but now I still have the issue that the shipping is so expensive. So then if the shipping is so expensive, I would have to buy a lot to make it worth it, and then also the taxes would be a lot. So it would be so expensive to get something from Menagerie. Like if I would buy an eyeshadow palette, it would easily come up to like 120 euros, which is so much money, and then I would rather turn to more easily accessible indie brands. And I feel like the fact that I've discovered indie brands in Europe that are just so easy for me to get has made me kind of like steer away from these kinds of indie brands that are based in the US or Canada and that are just like really expensive for me to get. There's just so much out there right now. I don't feel like the only places where I can get good multi-chrome shimmers are in the US anymore. And also, if you're watching this right now and you are from Europe, like keep that in mind. If you're looking at these indie brands that are based in the US, there could very well be a very good alternative to them in Europe. And I could like make a video about that if you're interested in the indie brands that I have tried that are based in Europe or are like really easily accessible in Europe, and just tell you about what my favorites are. But I feel like some brands have kind of taken the place of Menagerie and Unearthly. Like Unearthly as well, I really think they do such interesting color stories, and the quality that I've tried from them was really nice. I have some really beautiful liquid lipsticks from them. I have some really beautiful eyeshadows. Like I really love the brand, and they come out with a lot, so there are a lot of options, but it's just so expensive to get things. Even though the brand itself isn't super expensive, just everything that comes on top of that, it's not worth it anymore. I feel like the shipping has become more expensive than it used to be, like when I did buy from Unearthly. And I know the brands can't really help it. Like they are small brands, they are small companies, they don't have the means, they don't have the power to really change the shipping rates, or they don't have the power to really take up some of that cost to make people still want to buy them. So this is actually something I'm kind of sad about. It's not something that I really wanted, and I hope for them in the future that they can change those rates a little bit, so people from Europe or wherever will also want to buy from them. So I'm rooting for these brands. I really like them, but for now I just cannot do it. Like if I have to pay that much money, like that much extra money, then I can only make one makeup order in the whole month. So then that brand is gonna be the only thing I buy in the whole month, and that's not what I want to do right now. So maybe if my financial situation changes, like this changes as well, but for now this is how I feel about these two indie brands, even though it makes me kind of sad. And then the last brand might surprise some of you, depends if you've seen my videos, if you kind of know me, but I am not buying from Natasha Denona right now. I have tried 2 different eyeshadow palettes. I know it's not a lot, but that has kind of deterred me from trying more from this brand. So I have tried the Mini Glam eyeshadow palette and the Mini Love. So the first mini Valentine's Day eyeshadow palette 5-pan that she came out with, and both of them I just didn't think were very impressive. Like the mattes were okay, I couldn't really complain about them, but the shimmers I didn't really like. Especially in the Mini Glam eyeshadow palette, I felt like the shimmers were a little bit lackluster, a little bit too subtle. I was expecting more. Like the mattes were good, but the shimmers I was kind of like so about. It felt a little bit like those typical luxury shimmers, and I just want something a little bit more with a little bit more oomph. So I was kind of disappointed because I didn't feel like there was anything special about the palette. I mean, if you pay 25 euros for such a small palette, you're expecting something different from the 5 euro palettes that you have, but I didn't really see a difference in that. Maybe I use my makeup in a different way, or maybe I view makeup in a different way than people that really love Natasha Denona, but that palette just didn't do it for me. And then the Mini Love eyeshadow palette, it wasn't that the quality was exactly bad, but just every time I used the palette I felt like it looked awful on me. I felt like it looked so bad, and I love pink eyeshadow, I love purple eyeshadow, I have a cool undertone, so usually those kinds of shades really suit me, really make me feel more beautiful. But this time I was just like, what is going on? How do I keep messing up my makeup? But not really, but my makeup just looks so messed up when I use this Mini Love eyeshadow palette, and it was so bad that I ended up decluttering it. And also the duochrome that was in there, like the duochrome sparkly shade, it was nowhere near any in the single eyeshadows or in the eyeshadows in general that I've tried. Like indie makeup is just so much better than Natasha Denona in my opinion. Of course, I haven't tried everything. I am not the expert, but I'm not gonna keep trying a brand when 2 of the things that I've tried were just not for me. I feel like the formulas are just not for me. And also when I watch videos, because I keep watching videos about this brand because it's such a popular brand and I'm curious, but when I watch videos about this brand, I'm just like, okay, this is not for me. This is just not punchy enough. This is not the quality that I am into. So I have just been really disappointed by Natasha Denona, and I don't know if I'm gonna get back into the brand. I just think that people that love Natasha Denona probably really love the matte eyeshadows. Like, they are really like matte eyeshadow people, and I love shimmer eyeshadows. It's just my thing. So yeah, the brand just wasn't for me. I feel like it really had to like grab me and really had to show me like I am amazing, I'm expensive for a reason. Well, that didn't happen, and I just went back to my trusty old indie brands that I'm such a fan of. So yeah, that's how that happened. Okay, these were the 5 brands that I'm not buying from right now. Let me know what you think about these brands, and do you have brands similar to mine where you used to buy from and now you don't anymore? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.